Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. Forgot to finish my water before I hit go live. Water before coffee. Do you notice how I barely swallow my water before I'm buzzing? Like, I was pouring my coffee while I was drinking my water. Like, there's no time lapse in between the two. I'm like, I am drinking my water with one hand and pouring my cup with another. All is right with the world. Oh my gosh. I have got a massive headache. These stupid antibiotics. Oh my gosh, they're wrecking me. I have got this like blurred vision headache right here. Oh, it's like lingered this whole time. I know, Mallory. I should do that. Good morning, Rita. Have a great day at work. Have a nice day. Have a joyful day. Hey, Donna. Hey, Charlotte. Hey, Linda. Everybody's here. Hey, Sherry. Oh, gosh. All right. I hit go live before I was anywhere near ready this morning, didn't I? Oh, thank you, Sherry. My hair, I'm in a good place right now with my hair. Like it's at a length where it's easy to, I don't know, it's just been styling easy. I've been using a shampoo bar. I think that, I don't know, when I first started using it, I was like, this is weird rubbing a bar of soap all over my head. But I kind of like what it's doing for my hair. Okay, March 31st. From the conquest to the kings, the period of the judges spans 200 to 300 years. Judah and Simeon capture the land. I love the book of Judges. The Judges and Kings, I think they're fun books. I mean, there's murder and mystery, and there's just a whole bunch of, I don't know what the word is. It's saucy. I don't know. All right. Judges 1 through 18. After the death of Joshua, the Israelites asked the Lord which tribe should go first to attack the Canaanites. Go lay down, please. Go lay down. The Lord answered, Judah, for I have given them victory over the land. The men of Judah said to their relatives from the tribe of Simeon, join with us and fight against the Canaanites living in the territory allotted to us. Then we will help you conquer your territory. So the men of Simeon went with Judah. When the men of Judah attacked, the Lord gave them victory over the Canaanite and Perizzites, and they killed 10,000 enemy warriors at the town of Bezek. While at Bezek, they encountered King Adoni-Bezek and fought against him, and the Canaanites and Perizzites were defeated. Adoni-Bezek escaped, but the Israelites soon captured him and cut off his thumbs and his big toes. Intriguing. Thank you, Jan. That was the word. Adoni-Bezek said, I once had 70 kings with their thumbs and big toes cut off, eating scraps from under my table. Now God has paid me back for what I did to them. They took him to Jerusalem, and he died there. The men of Judah attacked Jerusalem and captured it, killing all of its people and setting the city on fire. Then they went down to fight the Canaanites living in the hill country, the Negev, and the western foothills. Judah marched against the Canaanites in Hebron, formerly called Kiriath Arba, defeating the forces of Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai. No, buddy, you're going to spill my coffee. Listen, it's not playtime, buddy. Lay down for me. Come on. No, lay down. Lay down. Down. Sit. Thank you. Now lay down. No, I don't want your ball. I love it, but I don't want it. Can you lay down? From there they went to fight against the people living in the town of Debir, formerly called Kiriath Sefer. Caleb said, I will give my daughter, Aksa, in marriage to the one who attacks and captures Kiriath Sefer. Othniel, the son of Caleb's younger brother, Kenaz, was the one who conquered it. So Achsah became Othniel's wife. When Achsah married Othniel, she urged him to ask her father for a field. As she got down off her donkey, Caleb asked her, "What's the matter?" She said, "Let me give another gift. You have already given me the land in the Negev. Now please give me the springs of water too." So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. When the tribe of Judah left Jericho, the city of palms, the Kenites, who were descendants of Moses' father-in-law, traveled with them into the wilderness of Judah. They settled among the people there, near the town of Arad in the Negev. Then Judah joined with Simeon to fight against the Canaanites living in Zaphath, and they completely destroyed the town. So the town was named Hormah. In addition, Judah captured the towns of Gaza, Ashkelon, and Ekron, along with their surrounding territories. Israel fails to conquer the land. Judges 1:19-36. The Lord was with the people of Judah, and they took possession of the hill country, but they failed to drive out the people living in the plains, who had iron chariots. The town of Hebron was given to Caleb, as Moses had promised, and Caleb drove out the people living there, who were the descendants of the 3 sons of Anak. The tribes of Benjamin, however, failed to drive out the Jebusites, who were living in Jerusalem. So to this day the Jebusites live in Jerusalem among the people of Benjamin. The descendants of Joseph attacked the town of Bethel, and the Lord was with them. They sent men to scout out Bethel, formerly known as Luz. They confronted a man coming out of the town and said to him, "Show us a way into the town, and we will have mercy on you." So he showed them a way in, and they killed everyone in the town except the man and his family. Later, the man moved to the land of the Hittites, where he built a town. He named it Luz, which its name to this day. The tribe of Manasseh failed to drive out people living in Beth-shan, Tanakh, Dor, Ibleam, Megiddo, and all their surrounding settlements, because the Canaanites were determined to stay in that region. When the Israelites grew stronger, they forced the Canaanites to work as slaves, but they never did drive them completely out of the land. The tribe of Ephraim failed to drive out the Canaanites living in Gezer, so the Canaanites continued to live there among them. The tribe of Zebulun failed to drive out the residents of Kitron and Nahalal, so the Canaanites continued to live among them. But the Canaanites were forced to work as slaves for the people of Zebulun. The tribe of Asher failed to drive out the residents of Akko, Sidon, Alab, Aksib, Helba, Aphek, and Rehob. Instead, the people of Asher moved in among the Canaanites, who controlled the land, for they failed to drive them out. Likewise, the tribe of Naphtali failed to drive out the residents of Beth-Shemesh and Beth-Anath. Instead, they moved in among the Canaanites, who controlled the land. Nevertheless, the people of Beth-Shemesh and Beth-Anath were forced to work as slaves for the people of Naphtali. As for the tribe of Dan, the Amorites forced them back into the hill country and would not let them come down into the plains. The Amorites were determined to stay in the Mount Heres, Ajalon, and Shalbim. But when the descendants of Joseph became stronger, they forced the Amorites to work as slaves. The boundary of the Amorites ran from the Scorpion Pass to Selah and continued upward from there. The Lord's messenger comes to Bochum. Judah 2:1-5. The angel of the Lord went up from Gilgal to Bochum and said to the Israelites, "I brought you out of Egypt into this land that I swore I would give your ancestors, and I said I would never break my covenant with you. For your part, you were not to make any covenants with the people living in this land. Instead, you were to destroy their altars, but you disobeyed my command. Why did you do this? So now I declare that I will no longer drive out the people living in your land. They will be thorns in your side, and their gods will be a constant temptation to you." When the angel of the Lord finished speaking to the Israelites, the people wept loudly. So they called the place Bochum, which means weeping, and they offered sacrifices there to the Lord. The death of Joshua, Judges 2:6-9. After Joshua sent the people away, each of the tribes left to take possession of the land allotted to them, and the Israelites served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and the leaders who outlived him, those who had seen all the great things the Lord had done for Israel. Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110. They buried him in the land he had been allocated at Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gash. Israel disobeys the Lord. Judges 2:10-15. After that generation died, another generation grew up who did not acknowledge the Lord or remember the mighty things he had done for Israel. The Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight and served the images of Baal. They abandoned the Lord, the God of their ancestors, who had brought them out of Egypt. They went after other gods, worshipping the gods of the people around them, and they angered the Lord. They abandoned the Lord to serve Baal and the images of Ashtaroth. This made the Lord burn with anger against Israel. So he handed them over to raiders who stole their possessions. He turned them over to their enemies all around, and they were no longer able to resist them. Every time Israel went out to battle, the Lord fought against them, causing them to be defeated, just as he had warned, and the people were in great distress. The Lord rescues his people. Judges 2:16 through 23. Then the Lord raised up judges to rescue the Israelites from their attackers. Yet Israel did not listen to the judges, but prostituted themselves by worshipping other gods. How quickly they turned away from the path of their ancestors, who walked in obedience to the Lord's commands. Whenever the Lord raised up a judge over Israel, he was with that judge, and rescued the people from their enemies throughout the judge's lifetime. For the Lord took pity on his people, who were burdened by oppression and suffering. But when the judge died, the people returned to their corrupt ways, behaving worse than those who had lived before them. They went after other gods, serving and worshipping them, and they refused to give up their evil practices and stubborn ways. So the Lord burned with anger against Israel. He said, "Because these people have violated my covenant, which I have made with their ancestors, and have ignored my commands, I will no longer drive out the nations that Joshua left unconquered when he died. I did this to test Israel, to see whether or not they would follow the ways of the Lord as their ancestors did. That is why the Lord left those nations in place. He did not quickly drive them out or allow Joshua to conquer them all." The nations left in Canaan. Whoo, that's hot. Judges 3:1 through 6. These are the nations that the Lord left in the land to test those Israelites who had not experienced the wars of Canaan. He did this to teach warfare to generations of Israelites who had no experience in battle. These are the nations: the Philistines, those living under the Philistine rulers, all the Canaanites, the Sidonians, the Hivites living in the mountains of Lebanon from Baal Hermon to Lebo Hamath. These were the people left to test the Israelites, to see whether they would obey the commands of the Lord had given them to their ancestors through Moses. So the people of Israel lived among the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, and they intermarried with them. Israelites' sons married their daughters, and the Israelites' daughters were given in marriage to their sons, and the Israelites served their gods. Othniel becomes Israel's judge. Judges 3:7 through 11. The Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight. They forgot about the Lord their God, and they served the images of Baal and Asherah poles. Then the Lord burned with anger against Israel, and he turned them over to King, oh my goodness, Cushan-Rishathaim, and Aram-Naharaim. Whew, Lord. And the Israelites served Cushan-Rishathaim for 8 years. But when the people of Israel cried out to the Lord for help, the Lord raised up a rescuer to save them. I love that. He raised up a rescuer. That's what he's in the business of doing, is raising up rescuers. His name was Othniel, the son of Caleb's younger brother, Kenaz. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he became Israel's judge. He went to war against King Cushan-Rishathaim of Aram, and the Lord gave Othniel victory over him. So there was peace in the land for 40 years. Then Othniel, son of Kenaz, died. Ehud becomes Israel's judge. Judges 3:12 through 30. Once again, the Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight, and the Lord gave King Eglon of Moab control over Israel because of their evil. Eglon enlisted the Ammonites and the Amalekites as allies, and then went out and defeated Israel, taking possession of Jericho, the city of palms. And the Israelites served Eglon of Moab for 18 years. But when the people cried out to the Lord for help, the Lord again raised up a rescuer to save them. His name was Ehud, son of Gera, a left-handed man of the tribe of Benjamin. I wonder, King Hard name, that's what I'm going to call him. I wonder, what was I just going to say? Why he calls out that he was left-handed. I wonder why that mattered. Wouldn't be here if it didn't matter. The Israelites sent Ehud to deliver their tribute money to King Eglon of Moab. So Ehud made a double-edged dagger that was about a foot long, and he strapped it to his right thigh, keeping it hidden under his clothing. He brought the tribute money to Eglon, who was very fat. After delivering the payment, Ehud started home with those who had helped carry the tribute. But when Ehud reached the stone idols near Gilgal, he turned back. He came to Eglon and said, "I have a secret message for you." So the king commanded his servants, "Be quiet," and he sent them all out of the room. Ehud walked over to Eglon, who was sitting alone in a cool upstairs room. And Ehud said, I have a message from God for you." As King Eglon rose from his seat, Ehud reached with his left hand, pulled out the dagger strapped to his right thigh, and plunged it into the king's belly. So the dagger went so deep that the handle disappeared beneath the king's fat. So Ehud did not pull out the dagger, and the king's bowels emptied. Then Ehud closed and locked the doors of the room and escaped down the latrine. I think I was grossed out by that last year. He escaped down the pooper. Gross. After Ehud was gone, the king's servants returned and found the door to the upstairs room locked. They thought he might be using the latrine in the room, so they waited. But when the king didn't come out after a long delay, they became concerned and got a key. And when they opened the doors, they found their master dead on the floor. While the servants were waiting, Ehud escaped, passing the stone idols on his way to Seirah. When he arrived in the hill country of Ephraim, Ehud sounded a call to arms. Then he led a band of Israelites down from the hills. "Follow me," he said, "for the Lord has given you victory over Moab, your enemy." So they followed him, and the Israelites took control of the shallow crossings of the Jordan River across from Moab, preventing anyone from crossing. They attacked the Moabites and killed about 10,000 of their strongest and most able-bodied warriors. Not one of them escaped. So Moab was conquered by Israel that day, and there was peace in the land for 80 years. Yeah, that makes sense now that I finished reading that, Cindy, because it was on his right leg, and he didn't, yes. Yep, it did matter, didn't it? That's interesting. That's what we should call him, though, Faith. King hard name. See? Murder. Deceit. Excitement. Bowels on the floor and escaping through latrines. There's some good stories in Judges. It's like an action movie with Bruce Willis. All right. Day number 90 of Trim Healthy Mama, 100 Days of Inspiration. My gosh, we got 10 days left. 10 days, that's it. I can't even believe it. All right. Sebastian, you are very distracting. Can you please come lay down? And I know you're not getting that. Come lay down. Coming out here with your PB mad at 7 in the morning. You don't, no, you're not having butter. Lay down, buddy. A great opportunity. Isn't the word long-suffering such a lovely word? Not so easy to put into practice, though. The word means forbearance, fortitude, patience, and longanimity. I hadn't learned of the last word until I checked 1828 Webster's Dictionary. It means a disposition to endure long under offenses. Trials can go on and on. Can we keep enduring for the long haul? We can't in our own strength, only in Christ's strength. He lives within us, and he is long-suffering. This is his nature. Joel 2:13, Romans 2:4, and 2 Peter 3:9 and 15. Paul confessed, that in me first, Jesus Christ might show all long-suffering for a pattern. 1 Timothy 1:16. Can we have this testimony in our daily life and home? Mothering is a great opportunity to show long-suffering, isn't it? And do you notice that we are also able to be a pattern? We are an example by word and action to our children and all we meet. They learn by imitating us. Embrace the frustrations and trials of life. Each one is an opportunity to reveal the long-suffering of Jesus to conform you to the image of God's Son. Romans 8:29. Neglected or pampered. Finding the balance between these two approaches on how to take care of your body can be hard for some of us. Many women feel if they take the time to make sure they eat right, exercise, get enough rest, or put in a little effort for beauty, they are doing something that may be selfish or frivolous. These things are not spiritual enough or important on their list of priorities. They will constantly look after others, their husbands, their children, their coworkers, their friends, their homes, their purses, and their laundry, anything but themselves. While the Bible warns us against putting too much focus on outward vanity, it also mentions the beauty of the face and the physical form of many of the biblical heroines. If this didn't matter at all, it wouldn't be mentioned in the Bible. Of course, we would not try to be Barbie dolls or constantly seek and expect more me time, but we are our husband's investment and our children's role model. The scripture tells us in 1 Corinthians 7 that as married folk, our bodies are not our own, and we should not begrudge intimacy to one another. We also glean from the scripture that we look after our physical bodies not only for our own purpose, but also because when we said, I do, we gave our body to someone else. Do we just let them go after a few years and not bother with the basic physical upkeep? Serene and Pearl. God's open door. Every teenager gets asked if they are going to college, but some people believe in college like they believe in going to church. Some young people plan which college they want to go to before they even know what they want to study. I have friends and family who went to college, and most of the time it was for the best. I support the students who know what they're doing. College can be crucial for certain jobs and professions, and it is definitely helpful in many other cases. But that doesn't mean it has to be for everyone, and it doesn't have to be for me. Why am I not in college? Because I am already authoring books, because I don't really need to take a course to write a song, and because I don't see why I should be in college if I can't see myself as a surgeon or in another profession that requires it. Even so, this is the pressure that is thrown on me in my culture. The statement of my own path could be treated with a low look of disapproval instead of the supportive understanding that I have sensed God has other plans for me. Go to college for the right reasons. Go if it's necessary for your own unique destiny, but don't go simply because that's what the world expects of you. Choose your true calling. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining me this morning. I love my devotion time with the Lord and with you, and I've gotten now, so I can't wait. Like I have a routine. I do the routine every morning. I scrub the toilet. I wash the sink in the bathroom. I get dressed, which I'm sure you're grateful for. I come out here and I put any dishes away that my husband took out of the dishwasher but couldn't figure out where they went, which is quite a few. There's always 3 or 4 things sitting around that he just put there because he's like, I don't know, but he empties the dishwasher at night. So I put those away, and then I let out the dog and all that jazz and make my cup. And then I join you. And I look so forward to sitting in this chair. Like, I can't wait to sit in this chair. A lot of times I sit down and realize I forgot something like my frother, and I have to get back up, and I'm like, oh, I look so forward to logging on and yes, Mallory, morning nourishment, nourishing my heart first thing in the morning with the word. I love it. I love it so much. Even the days where you have to say names that you can pronounce. They are comforting, aren't they, Sherry? They are comforting. All right, guys. So for breakfast this morning, it is day 5 of the fuel cycle over in KJville. So I have on the menu